Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's introductory press conferences for the NCAA tournament first and second rounds. We're starting with University of South Carolina. We have head coach Don Staley, Alexis Jennings, and Tyasha Harris. So we'll start with an opening statement from head coach Don Staley, and then have questions for the student athletes. And then we'll release the student athletes to the open locker room, and then continue with questions for Coach Staley. So, Coach Staley, if you'll lead us off.
Yes. Super excited to be here in Charlotte. Just wanted to thank all the administrators and all the people behind the scenes that made it happen in such a short time. Charlotte has been great. I've been here coaching against Charlotte when I was coaching in the Atlantic 10, and certainly didn't see this side of it. But they've done a great job in preparing for the first and second round, and I'm sure they're going to show all four teams some warm hospitality. So I would like to thank everybody for being such a great sport and allowing us to take over their arena. And as far as the game, we're excited. We're prepped well. We get one more day to prep for Belmont, a team in which looks extremely well on film. They have some players that are very experienced and like to play with each other. They're a very unselfish group, and we'll be challenged tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, we'll open it for questions for Alexis Jennings and Tyasha Harris. If you could raise your hand for the microphone, we'll bring one to you. Joe in the back.
No. Yes.
Thank you for both players. Just from the beginning of the season to now, it felt like you guys were trying to put together puzzle pieces, trying to figure each other out. Can you describe what that process was like, and what's it been like on this journey to get to this point, to earn the right to host based on what you guys went through in the beginning of the season, figuring each other out?
Go ahead. It's very tough. We overcame a lot of adversity in the beginning. It's just like an up and down roller coaster, but I think we did pretty good at just figuring each other out, and we just gelled at the right time.
Brad, here in the front.
For Ty or Alexis, either one of you, kind of uncharted territory in your career, coming off the SEC tournament. What's the preparation been like for you after not having an extended run? How do you, bring maybe a little disappointment and turn the page?
Mm-hmm. It was pretty tough, but I think that we took it with a grain of salt and took it for what it was, and we just went back to work. The next day, we were able to get back in the gym. We were just competing nonstop, and when we compete, I feel like we're really at our best, and I feel like we're really prepared for this tournament.
Questions for Joe in the back?
For both of you, you both have experiences playing with USA basketball. I'm just curious, how did those experiences help with this year's team, especially molding some of the younger players on what to expect at competing at a high level?
It's a totally different level. Everything they do, they compete at it. They sprint to whatever line they're going to. They're always talking, communicating. So I learned a lot just from being in there. I try to implement that into our practice, and I think just over the last 4 or 8 days when we was practicing, we did a lot of that USA things and just communicating and just competing at everything we do.
Any more questions for the student athletes? There.
For both of you guys, from what you've said about practice and what you are excited to show tomorrow, what do you hope to notice quickly from when you take the court to show that what you did in practice will pay off now in these games?
Just I think our a level of intensity in defense. I think that's going to pay off a lot. We kind of stepped up on that end, and just mentally, Coach Staley put us through mental, physical battle this over a couple of weeks. But I think that's just going to pay off in the long run, and it's going to be fun and exciting because it's going to be different.
Anything else for student athletes? Okay. If not, we'll release them to the locker room. And just a reminder, the locker room is open until 11:15. We'll continue with questions for Coach Staley. Joe?
Coach, I kind of just want to feed off Ty's answer right there. Can you talk about a little bit of those mental preparation things you did with the team, and why she feels so confident that this group will be different come tournament time?
I mean, they were challenged in every drill that we did, and the practices, the intensity. I mean, no one likes losing, and if you're going to take in the same, effort and preparation that you did prior to losing, you're setting yourself up for failure. I wanted to make sure that our players understood that, it's unacceptable for us to lose as early as we had. We were used to having very good success at the SEC tournament. We tried to play our best basketball there over the past few years, and we came up short, and we paid for it. It's not like, Arkansas was a really good team, and they beat us on that night. So we just had to get back to the drawing board and go back to making sure we understand some details about how we need to play on both sides of the ball.
Right here in the front.
Don Steve Reed from the Associated Press. What did you, when you went back and watched film, what did you see, and what has to improve going forward from the tournament?
The biggest thing was just our ability to pressure the ball. We had no ball pressure. We weren't dictators on defense. We allowed people to, just drive it down our throats. The adjustments that we tried to make just didn't work out. We tried zone, we tried box and one, we tried 2-3, we tried, just playing straight man. We tried to, help and recover. None of those things worked. So, we had to go back and figure out how we control the ball a lot better.
Okay. Got Joe here and then back here.
Coach, you heard me ask the players about, putting together the puzzle pieces from the beginning of the season to now. For you, just what was that like? Was it more difficult than in previous years to find the right combination of players? And do you feel this team is better positioned now than the beginning of the season based on how much experience a lot of different players had in different spots on the floor?
You're talking in past tense. It's current. This team is ever evolving, and for me, I lost sight of how many new players, that we had this season, and when you look at the newness of our team, Taya Cooper, our 3 freshmen, Nellie Perry. There's 5 of them that had to play a significant role for us in some kind of way. And then we returned some players who were very experienced but had to play different roles for us. So it was a challenging year, but I like challenges to try to figure it out. But we never could find any consistency, and we've been trying to do that for the past 20 games. But some people will rise to the challenge, others would falter a little bit, so it's always a puzzle you're trying to figure out. So we just go with the players that are prepped better for the game, the most current game.
Coach, you said Monday that this Belmont team reminds you of Drake a little bit. When you go back and look at that Drake, what was missing for you guys to put you over the edge? Does that comparison still hold?
It's health. We weren't healthy during that time. And I hope that we're a lot better defenders, but you really can't tell by our last game. So we wanted to make sure we right the ship when it comes to defending. We have to be better defenders. We have to be better dictators, and we can't be reactionary. So hopefully we'll guard the ball a little bit better than we did against Drake. Hopefully we'll get down the floor because Drake got some rim run baskets on us. But they're very, very similar in what they do offensively and defensively.
Coach, I wanted to follow up on your answer, just speaking in future tense now. How How good is this team capable of being? Because you talk about some of the inconsistencies and the various players rising to the occasion, others falling. But have you allowed yourself to imagine if everyone clicks on the same night, just how scary good could this team be from a potential standpoint?
Yeah, I mean that's what that is what encourages me every day. To see that we got a roster full of players that if we start clicking at the same time, I do think we can beat anybody. If we can play 40 minutes or close to 35 minutes in a basketball game. We put a quarter together here, a half together here, maybe 35 minutes. If we could put 4 quarters together, I do think we can make a deep run in this tournament. But that's that's up to us. I mean, we control that aspect of it. So I'm looking forward to see how we come out and play tomorrow. I know we'll play with a lot of intensity. I know we'll get up and down the floor. Whether we're able to execute for long stretches during basketball games will be, an indicator of whether we can make a deep run in the tournament.
Just to kind of piggyback off of that, it is a 4-quarter game, but is there anything specific when you look at maybe like the first 5 minutes of the game that you're hoping to see that might really set the tone for this group tomorrow?
Yeah, I like for us to just play fast, to get up and down the floor. And I like for us to be dictators on defense. I know a lot of teams around the country, they feed off what they can do from an offensive standpoint. That's great. But, if you take, for instance, our last game, 85 points weren't enough points. And usually 85 points are enough points to win a basketball game playing anybody in the country. And that wasn't enough because we gave up, 95 points or something like that. And that just, it was a great game, offensive game, but that just can't happen in order for us to be on the other side of winning a basketball game.
Coach, what have these 2 weeks done for Taya to get back to full health? Where is she at right now?
I think Taya is looking the healthiest as she has prior to her injury. And, a lot of people didn't take in consideration that she was unhealthy. She was hobbling a little bit, but she fought through. I think the rest and us, maybe practicing half of the week last week gave her the rest and the time that she needed to, physically recover, but also mentally. When you're injured and you're at full strength, it plays with you mentally. But I think she's in a great place mentally and physically.
I'm just feeding off that question. When you look at Taya by the numbers, when you guys play ranked teams or some of the bigger opponents, she seems to really step up her game. What's it about her mental makeup? When you need someone to step up against those powerful teams, she's the one who seems to answer the bell more often than not.
She does. She's, her focus is a lot different, when there's a number in front of her team. How we get her to channel that every single night is a challenge, but I think it's tournament time. I don't know if did she play in a tournament 4 years ago with Tennessee? I think she did. She surely did. And they went to the Elite Eight, right? Yeah. So she's, I think she's chopping at the bit to get back to playing in the NCAA tournament. So, whether there's a number in front of Belmont, I don't think it will care when it comes to Taya. She's healthier. She's emotionally and physically and mentally ready to compete and play somebody else other than her teammates.
Anything else for